I see on here that a lot of y'all upset that Black Americans are celebrating that the Nottoway Plantation burned down in Louisiana. First off, why wouldn't we celebrate it? Why aren't you celebrating? We talking about a place with such dreadful roots until it's unimaginable what our ancestors could have went through on this plantation after they built it. We're talking about them being beat, raped, murdered, hung, work until their hands bled. And to all y'all who out here saying, oh, it was a beautiful piece of history. What was beautiful about it? What was beautiful about that history? Please tell me in the comments what was beautiful about it. I'm struggling to understand how a place like that would ever be considered a beautiful piece of history. So yeah, we're gonna celebrate it. Get your life together. And if you haven't seen it, here's the video.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Nottoway Plantation burns down. And you have people on this internet crying because it burnt down? That place was built in 1859 by slaves on the backs and bodies of slaves. And you're telling me right now that people are on this internet crying because it burnt down? Crying because it was a resort? Crying because you can't go there and spend time in a plantation? A plantation where people suffer? This is exactly why those same spirits there, those ancestors there, made sure that that plantation is gone right now today. I say this all the time. Y'all better stop playing with these spirits. These spirits hear everything. These spirits see everything. And these spirits went through a lot. You don't think that the families of these people are hurt anytime they could look and say, you know what? I had a family member that was in that plantation. But y'all people, y'all really something different, man. Y'all are really something different. Know this. If you notice those pictures of that house burning, you can see in those still pictures, it looks like the spirits are there. The spirits, the ancestors, are the reason that plantation is gone. If you can't respect it, it don't matter. They went through a lot. That shit's supposed to be gone. All of those plantations supposed to be gone. I'ma just leave that like that. I'm out.
You broke down, huh? They didn't. She didn't break down. They didn't. Oh, they most definitely didn't. Look like Black history to you? Let that bitch burn.
Welcome to Sparkle's show, where the satire is sharp, the commentary is cutting, and the truth, well, it's always dressed in drama. Today's episode is smokin' hot, literally, because the Nottoway Plantation, that alabaster monument to the antebellum South in Louisiana, just went up in flames. And social media, especially Black Twitter, lit up just as fast. Let's dive into the rest of the video, and we will back for more commentary.
I don't know, y'all. I've been on this plantation thing ever since the building burning. And I'm just trying to understand the thinking process of one who would want to celebrate anything, baby shower, wedding, all of the beautiful things that you were supposed to celebrate at a once blood-shedded home. I just do not understand. And knowing the history behind it, knowing you are a white person, knowing your history, why would you want to go celebrate? I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And I can't take away from a white person's history. But I just don't understand. And the only thing I can understand of why you would want to do this is because you have pride in your history. Your people was once slave owners. They owned people. They owned crops. They owned a home like this. They owned black people. Is that something to be proud of? I just don't understand. Celebrating something so beautiful at an evil place. I don't understand. Help me with the thinking process.
Nottoway Plantation is burning, huh? You know what the ancestors doing. It's that time, baby. Now, Nottoway Plantation is located amongst the Mississippi River Road, 2 miles from White Castle, Louisiana. And Nottoway Plantation is said to be the South's largest antebellum mansions that's remaining. They got about 64 rooms, 7 staircases, and 5 galleries, and 365 openings, which is windows and places on how you get through the mansion. Nottoway was built by a slave master named John Hampton in 1859, and it was built in a Greek revival in Italian style. And he was married to a woman named Emily, and they had about 11 children. Now, he had oak trees, and 11 of the 16 oak trees he named after his daughters. But note, the oak trees were the same oak trees that they used to hang the slaves during those times. 11 of the 16 oak trees was registered in the Louisiana Garden Club district. Now, on May 15, 2025, a fire broke out on the southern part of the plantation, and it severely burned most of the main structures of the house. Now, on the plantation, Randolph had a cemetery for his family members that was also in the back of it. At first, the fire was initially contained in the south wing corner of the bedroom mansion. So around 6 o'clock, the fire started to reimburse again and spread throughout the main mansion. But by 7:30, the whole house was burned down to the ground. No remains was left found.
But wait, don't strike that match just yet. Let's talk context before we get canceled. Now, before we dive in, we give credit where it's due. Shout out to the original video creators, the brilliant stitches, and all the people who made this topic trend. Without you, we'd be bored scrolling cat videos. Let's unpack this burning issue, shall we? The Nottoway Plantation, once a lavish wedding venue for the Southern elite, is now a pile of historical ashes. Some called it a tourist trap for nostalgic white fantasy. Others called it a lesson in history. But a growing number of Black Americans called it exactly what it looked like: a glorified plantation with a side of trauma. You had folks joking, "Well, looks like karma booked a suite and checked in with gasoline." Others were more philosophical. "This ain't justice, it's symbolism." And then you had those who pulled up with receipts. "You do realize enslaved people built that, right? And now it's luxury ruins? That's history folding in on itself." But not everyone was laughing. Some users warned, "Don't celebrate too loudly. They're going to blame us for this." Others said, let's be careful. We want justice, not scapegoats. Meanwhile, others whispered something deeper. If this was arson, someone wanted to make a statement. Or was it just an electrical fire with uncomfortable timing? Now here's the satirical twist. Imagine ghosts of enslaved ancestors looking at the fire like, finally, we can rest. While white wedding planners scream, where will Becky have her Southern Belle ceremony now? But here's the truth. Plantations as luxury venues have always been a weird flex. How do you serve shrimp cocktail next to slave quarters? And let's not forget the white voices in the mix. Some were actually supportive. We never should have glamorized slavery-era estates. Others were less gracious. This is cultural terrorism. Yes, someone really said that. But the most powerful take might have come from a quiet Stitch video. Just a man in his garden saying, history has a funny way of catching up. Simple, poetic, true. And while some Black Americans are clapping in the comments, others are saying, let's not dance too long in the flames. Let's build something better instead. Because burning down a plantation, symbolically or literally, doesn't erase history, but maybe, just maybe, it turns the page. Final word for Sparkle's show fans. We're not here to incite, we're here to insight. Comment what you think. We read every single one. And if you've listened this far, drop a fire emoji in the chat. Special thanks to the originators, the stitchers, and the ancestors. Y'all keep the conversation going.